Yeah. Chaf Aleph Amud Bet. Amar Rav Kahana. Rav Kahana says, Darash Rav Natan bar Binyome Mishmed Rabbi Tanhum. Rav Natan bar Binyome taught in the name of Rabbi Tanhum, Ner Shel Hanukkah, Shehniha Lemala Me-20 Amah. If they place the Ner Hanukkah above 20 Amot, Pesula, it's Pasul, Kesuka Uchmavoy, like Sukkah and Mavoy. Rashi explains, Pesula, the Lo Shalta Be'ena, because people can't see it. Lemala Me-20 Amah. Veleka Persume Nisa, and there's no publicizing the miracle. Kisuka uchmavoy detanam behu behedya be'eruvin umasechet sukkah depsili. Like it says in the Mishnah that a sukkah which is lemala me'esrim amah is pesula, and mavoy shugavo lemala me'esrim amah yima'et. So too, by Hanukkah it's pasul because the people can't see it. And these 20 amot we count from the floor where you are. So if you're in an apartment on the 77th floor, as long as it's within 20 amot from your floor, it's okay. The Amar of Kahana, Tarash Rav Natan bar Minyome, Mishemed Rabit Rav Tanhum. Again, we have the same thing, so we're quoting it even though really it's not pertinent to the sugya. Tarash Rav Natan bar Minyome, Mishemed Rav Tanhum. My dichtiv, what does it say by Yosef, Haborek? The pit was empty, en bo mayim, it had no water. Mimashma' shene'emar, I understand from what it says, v'aborek, that the pit was empty, en yodea she'en bo mayim. Something empty, by definition, doesn't have water. Ela matamud lomar en bo mayim. Why does it say it had no water? Mayim en bo, it had no water. Aval nehashim ve'akrabim yesh bo. It did have snakes and scorpions, so that's why it was very dangerous for Yosef. Amar Rabbah says, Ner Hanukkah, the Hanukkah candle misvah laniha betefach hasamucha lepetach. When you want to light the Ner Hanukkah and you're lighting it outside of your door, it's a mitzvah to put it within the tefach, close to the doorway. So you have an outside of your house. Here's the outside of your house. You have the doorway right here. You could put it anywhere along the front of your house. He says, no, put it in the tefach, 4 inches or 3 inches, close to your doorway. Why? Because this way everybody knows that it's shayach to this house. If you put it in the middle, I don't know, maybe somebody from the Reshut Rabim put it over there. So mitzvah lahaniha betefach hasamuch lepetach. Look in Rashi, mitzvah lahaniha behatzer or bereshut Rabim betefach hasamuch lepetach. Shim yarhikenu lehalan min petach. If you move it further away from the petach, eno nikar sheba'al habayit hini hosham. People don't know that the Ba'al habayit put it over there. Says the Gemara. Okay, the doorway has 2 sides. On which side should I put it? Rabbi Haber de Rabbi Amar miyamin. He says, put it towards the right when you come in. B'chnisato lebeto liyamin, because yamin is more hashuv. Rav Shemuel midifti Amar. Rav Shemuel midifti says, misimol, put it on the left. V'hilcheta, the halacha is misimol. Why? Kedei sheteheh ner Hanukkah misimol u'mezuzah miyamin. So that I have the Ner Hanukkah on the left, I have the mezuzah on the right. Rashi says mezuzah, Kai Malan, we hold the biyamin, it's on the right side. Dichtiv, like it says, Betecha, Derech bi'atcha, the way you come in. So what does that mean on the right side? You come in through the whole doorway. V'chi akar inishkar edimina akar beresha. A righty, when he starts walking, naturally will move his right foot first. When it comes to halitzah, they test the guy if he's right-footed, if he's left-footed, by having him nonchalantly start walking, and they're watching him which foot he moves first. Amar of Yehuda, Amar of, and this way, when you come in and you have the mezuzah on the right, you have the Ner Hanukkah on the left. Hopefully, the guy's wearing tzitzit. He's misubab b'mitzvot. He's surrounded by mitzvot. The Hota Mishulash, he has tzitzit, Hanukkah, and what's it called? And mezuzah, Hota Mishulash, the triple string, lo b'merayinate. If you have no mezuzah, put it on the right side. Amar of Yehuda. Well, you're standing outside. It doesn't make a difference which way, but if you're lighting outside, so you light on the left side of the door. Or you're lighting inside. Technically, it's the right side facing it, but it's opposite the mezuzah. That's the main thing. Amar of Yehuda, Amar of Asi, Asur lehartzot ma'ot keneged ner Hanukkah. You're not allowed to count money in front of the Hanukkah candle. Now, l'chaora, What's the chidush? Hare, we already said, asur l'shtamesh le'orah. You're not allowed to use the light. So, it always bothers me, this question. The Ran explains, we saw it last night, the Ran explains the reason why you can't use the Ner Hanukkah is because since they were mitakene keneged the menorah, teknuha, they instituted it should be like the menorah. Just like the menorah, nobody's nehneh from the light, so to the Ner Hanukkah, nobody should be nehneh from the light. The problem with that sivara is, okay, so then by asula tzod ma'od neged Hanukkah, pashut. It's like the menorah. I can't benefit at all. So the Ran asked the question, and he answers to himself. He says, "Asula tzod ma'on neged Hanukkah." The chidush is you might have thought that since it's a very easy thing, it takes you a minute and a half. It's mutar kamash malan. It's asur. But if it's because of the menorah, it shouldn't make a difference. That's why I always understood Rashi much better. Rashi said yesterday, "Asur l'shtamesh le'orah she'en ikar she'en er mitzvah." The reason why you can't use the light is in order because if you're sitting down and you're eating dinner by the light of Ner Hanukkah, so people will say he didn't light it for the mitzvah, he lit it to eat dinner. There's no hikir. Kamash malan, who is it over here? Rav Yehuda, Rav Asi. That's not only is that a davar kavua, what people will say you lit it for, but even as you're walking by, you take out your money and you count it. Nobody's going to say that you lit the candle for that. And even so, we say that it's asur. Says Gemara, and we'll see. Asur la'atzor ma'or keneged Hanukkah. Ki amrite kamed Shmuel. When he said over this statement in front of Shmuel, Amar li, he told me, V'chi ner kedusha yesh ba. Does the ner Hanukkah have kedusha? What do you mean? It's holy. It's a mitzvah. Hanerot halalu. Didn't he say hanerot halalu kodeshem? Didn't he say that? Kanere not. Shmuel said, Hanerot halalu enam kodesh. What's going on? He had the wrong song. So what does he mean, Kedusha Yesh Bo? Of course a mitzvah is special and holy. But we have a rule like this. There's Tashmishe Kedusha and Tashmishe Mitzvah. What defines Tashmishe Kedusha? Tefillin, Sefer Torah, Mezuzah. Why? It has Torah. It has Shem Hashem. Shem Hashem brings Kedusha. Mitzvah doesn't have the same level of Kedusha. We say like this, Kippah is not even Tashmishe Mitzvah. Sefer is Kedusha. The source, Rav Chaim Volozhin goes so far as to say the source of Kedusha in the world is Torah. They say, the Rambam says that when Shlomo Melech built the Beit HaMikdash, he built deep tunnels and they put the Aron downstairs. So they say, well, the Rambam is telling you history. So no, the source of the Kedusha of the Mikdash is the Aron, which has the Luchot, which is Torah. Right? If nowadays the Aron is not there, what would be the source of Kedusha in the Beit HaMikdash? Kamash Malan, that the Aron is still there. But the source of Kedusha is Torah. You need to have Torah. So therefore we say, Tashmishe Kedusha Nignazim need Genizah. They have a Kedusha, lingering Kedusha. Tashmishe Mitzvah Nizrakin. Technically when you finish, you're allowed to throw it out. So that's what Shmuel asked. Shmuel says, V'chi ner Kedusha yesh ba. It's only a mitzvah. Where's the Shem Hashem? Where's the Torah? Why should be asur to use it in a way that's not taking away from the Heker Mitzvah Shebo? So he told him, Amar li, V'chi ner Kedusha yesh ba, mat kifla Rav Yosef. V'chi dam Kedusha yesh bo. When you make kisui adam, right? So it says, V'shafach v'chisa. Let's see, V'chi netanya v'shafach v'chisa. You should spill the blood, meaning make the shechita v'chisa, and then you have to cover the blood. So we learn v'shafach edema v'chisa be'afar. B'ma sheshafach yichaseh. With the same thing, he makes the shechita. We still haven't found a shocher that can make shechita with his toes. B'ma sheshafach, he shechted with his hands. Yichaseh, he has to cover with his hand. Shelo yichasenu beregel. Right? You could see the guy slaughters the chicken. The blood goes on the floor. He's got a pile of dirt. He kicks it with his feet and he covers it. I did the mitzvah. Shelo yechasenu beregel. You're not allowed to cover it with your foot. Why? Shelo yehem mitzvah bizuyot alav. Not because the dam has kedusha. No kedusha in the dam. But it comes from a chicken. But shelo you're doing a mitzvah. You have to do the mitzvah with respect. You have to respect the mitzvah. So too by the Ner Hanukkah, if you're counting money by the Ner Hanukkah, you're lowering it. It's not because of kedusha. All true. I know all the stories with the Ora Ganuz and all the things. I know the whole story. But in the end, it's a mitzvah. It doesn't have a halachic kedusha. Spiritually, and that you could see and you could get. And Ruach HaKodesh, I read all the stories. I know the whole business. Halachically, we work with rules. There's no Shem Hashem. There's no Torah in it. Doesn't have a din of kedusha. What? I'm not ruining anything. It's all true. It's all true, and it's all there. But mitzvot have a kedusha, but it's not a halachic kedusha that affects the way I have to deal with it. Says the Gemara, Ba'u minne Rabbi Yeshua ben Levi. So the hachina mishul mitzvot bezuyot alav. Ba minne Rabbi Yeshua ben Levi. Ma'u listapek minoye sukkah kol shiv'ah. They asked Rabbi Yeshua ben Levi, you have apples, oranges, wheat, wine hanging in your sukkah. So all of a sudden I get hungry. Can I take some? So he answered him, Amar le hare amru. They said, Asur la'atzot ma'ot keneged ner Hanukkah. He told him. They say you're not allowed to count money in front of the Hanukkah. You have flus. You're standing outside your house. Your ner Hanukkah is outside. You want to count the money. The only light is the Hanukkah candles. Can I count it or not? We're just learning that now. You're not allowed to count money. That's what we're talking about. So he told him, this is the source. We don't learn halachot from songs. If it happens to be right, it happens to be right. That's what they said. Shmuel was. Okay, the Gemara is going to ask that. That's a common thing. Everybody has money in his pocket. Everybody has an Ner Hanukkah. Guy comes, he wants to get paid, right? You want to count, he's standing outside. You don't bring him in your house. You don't want to see the rest of the money on the table. You make believe you don't have. So you start counting the money outside. It's a common case. They talk about a common case. Could you use the noi sukkah during Sukkot? Amarle, so he answers him, Hare amru asur la'atzot ma'o keneged ner Hanukkah. You're not allowed to count the money in front of the ner Hanukkah. So too, you're not allowed to use the noye sukkah. Seemingly, he's telling him, just like counting the money is bizui mitzvah or whatever, so too the noye sukkah also is a bizui mitzvah. Amar Rav Yosef said, Mareh de Avraham. You have the same lashon in Ketubot. Master of Avraham, I don't understand what kind of answer Yeshua ben Levi gave. Taleh Tanya bedelo Tanya. He answered him something that there's a beraita beferush saying it's asur, based on something that doesn't have a beraita. It's like going backwards. You're answering the source from the offshoot of the source. Why? Sukkah Tanya. I have a beraita beferush about sukkah that you're not allowed to use it. Like Abi off the bat, he knew that halacha. The Hanukkah lo Tanya. Well, he also knew Hanukkah off the bat. Hanukkah doesn't have a braita. The Tanya, I have a braita. Because who said Asur la'atzot ma'o keneged ner Hanukkah? Rav Yehuda amar Rav Asi. And Shmuel questioned it. Oh, we have a braita. The Tanya, Sechecha kehilcheta, if he was misachech the sukkah properly. The itera, and he crowned it, he decorated it, bekramim ubestinim, with tapestries and sheets, hamisuyarim. V'talaba, and he hung in it. Egozim, nuts. Afarsekim is peaches. Shekedim, almonds. Rimonim, pomegranates. Parchile anavim is clusters of grapes. V'atarot shel shibolim, and stalks of wheat. Yenot shemanim v'sultot, wines, oils, and flour. So you see that the theme in the time was to decorate the sukkah with the perot of the ground. Right? In the old days they used to do that. They used to hang fruits from the sukkah. Nowadays we hang streamers. Right? Asur and the lights like from the other holiday. Asur list because you get a discount. You get on a discount. You get to have the clothes out. Asur listapek mehen ad motzei yom tov ha'acharon shel hag. You're not allowed to use them until after the last holiday of Sukkot, until after Shemini Atzeret. So you see, beferush have a braita that once you hang up the stuff, you're not allowed to use it. No. Until after Shmini Atzeret. After Shmini Atzeret, do what you want. And if you made a condition when you hung them up, Hakol lefi tenao. Everything according to his condition. Here you see you are. What's your question? It's not a problem to use food as long as you don't ruin it. As long as you don't ruin it.
But it's going to stay for 7 days. It's going to ruin.
It's not going to ruin.
It's going to spoil.
What's going to ruin? If it's going to spoil, you're not allowed. Nothing here is going to spoil. You hang up the grapes, they stay good.
The second question is, they didn't consider all the avodah zarot that they were, they have apples, they have oranges, they have this, they have that.
So now we can't eat apples, oranges, and pears? It's not avodah zarah if I hang it. It's a decoration. It's beautiful.
But
It's not avodah zarah. Okay, because other religions use something as avodah zarah. Doesn't mean I can't use it. I can't use the one that they used for avodah zarah. But well, the goyim, they bow down to the mountains. I can't use the mountains. The goyim, they bow down to tomatoes. Now tomatoes are off the table. Okay, they bow down to cows. Stop eating steak. Okay, Ella. Amar, I remember when they had in the Times that in Burger King or McDonald's they said the fries are vegetarian and they were sprinkling beef fat on. So they quoted one guy saying, "I feel like I ate my mother." Okay, and if he made it tonight, hakol lefi tenao. Everything is according to his Tanai. And Rashi explains that the Tanai that you have to make is any bodel mehem kol ben hashemashot. I'm not disassociating myself from it. I'm not letting it become kadosh in the sukkah, or not kadosh. I'm not letting it become part of the sukkah, and I'm going to use it ben hashemashot so it doesn't become mukseh. Hakol lefi tenao. Ela, Amar Rav Yosef. Rav Yosef says, avuhun dekulhu dam. The source of all of these things is dam. Dam teaches me that if you use it, it'll become mitzvot bizuyot alav. If I kick the kisui adam, it's a bizui. If I count money by the Ner Hanukkah, I'm lowering it. I'm treating it like something mundane when it's really a mitzvah. If I start eating from the Noi Sukkah, I'm taking it down from being an accessory to a mitzvah to being a buffet. So therefore, since those are all will cause the mitzvah to be bazui alav, it's not allowed. But none of them is because of kedusha. What? Not muchach by the mouth. I don't know. Itmar, we learned. Rav says, En madlikin min ner lener. Rav says, when you have ner Hanukkah, you want to light the next candle, you're not allowed to light from one candle to the other. Shmuel says, madlikin min ner lener. You are allowed to light from one candle to the other. Rav says, En matirin tzitzit mi beged lebeged. You have a beged that has tzitzit, you want to untie the tzitzit from that one and put them on the next one. You can imagine how expensive tzitzit must have been if you wanted to do that. You can spend an hour tying and untying, because to put on the next beged, they cost $3.50 or $5 for the thing. Het techelet. Okay. En matirin, just for the strings. En matirin mi beged lebeged. Rav says you can't untie from one beged and put them on the other top beged. V'Shmuel Amar, Shmuel says, matirin mi beged lebeged. You're allowed to untie from one beged to another. The Tosfot explains, if you look in Tosfot, Rav Amar, en matirim mi beged lebeged, lo mi ba'ya I chovat taliti de asur. Of course, because there's a mahloket when it says tzitzit, that you have to put tzitzit on your beged. There's a mahloket, there's the obligation to have tzitzit on the beged even if you're not wearing it. It's a chovah on the beged. Or maybe it's not a chovah on the beged, it's only a chovah if you're wearing it. And if you have a four-cornered garment in your drawer, you don't have to put tzitzit until you decide to wear it. So he says, if you say that it's obligation on the beged, on the talit, of course you're not allowed to take the tzitzit off. Because you have a mitzvah to have on this one like you have a mitzvah to have on that one. The asur. Ela afilu ihobat gavrahu, even if it's an obligation on the person, nami asur according to Rav. Kid ashkaham b'mezuzah, like we find by mezuzah. Dene'inash oto shenetala bebaba mesi'ah. There was a case in Baba Mesi'ah where the guy left in a house and he took down the mezuzah and he got punished. Afal gav, even though everybody knows the chovat adarhu, the chovah of putting a mezuzah is only if you live there. So therefore Rav holds, you're not allowed to take it off. You're insulting the beged by taking the tzitzit off. Just like you insult the house by taking off the mezuzah.
Was ruined.
Wasn't ruined.
Let's say the beged wasn't useful anymore.
That's okay, but if we're talking, it is useful. I'm just taking it off. V'shmuel amar matirin. Aval gav de Shmuel gufe savar de hovat taliti. It's wild. Shmuel himself holds that you must put on, even in the drawer you have to put them on. Afilu achi matirim. You're allowed to untie. Why? Kivan she'oseh letzorech beged acher. Because I'm doing it for another beged. Vegabe mezuzah. So according to Shmuel, you have to say by mezuzah. Shene'inash, the guy that got punished. Shema lo haya b'da'ato la'aniach b'bayit acher. Maybe he wasn't putting it on another house. Inami. Or maybe different. Mezuzah shani, even though everybody agrees mezuzah chovat adar, and Shmuel holds you're allowed to take from beged to beged, she'asuya lehatzil min hamazikim, because one of the main themes in the mitzvah of mezuzah is to protect you from mazikim, from damages. So therefore, yani, it's been holding them off. When you take it off, all those mazikim, they want to damage you. V'aval gav de lekule alma en matirim shelo laniach bebeged acher. En kasher. It's not difficult. Mashenagula til tzitzit mitalitot shel metim. The minhag used to be that they would bury the dead guy in a talit and they would take the tzitzit off of it. The davka betalit shel hay shu bar chiyuva en matirim. When the talit belongs to a living person, that's chayav and tzitzit, so you can't take it off. But this guy is bichlal, but metim chovshi, is patur from a mitzvot, so you can take it off. The Gemara says, that's the question. Could you take the tzitzit off to put it on another beged? If you're not putting it on another beged, for sure not. But if you're putting it on another beged, that's the mahloka between Rav and Shmuel. Rav says no, Shmuel says yes. We have a third mahloka, Rav and Shmuel. The last mahloka, Rav and Shmuel, is Rav Amar en halacha ke Rabbi Shimon begrera. Gerera is the classic case of davar she'eno mitkaven. There's a mahloka throughout Masechet Shabbat. If I do something, and as a byproduct, something might happen. For example, I want to drag a chair across the backyard. It might make a furrow, which is choresh. It might not. So Rav says you're not allowed. Why? Like Rabbi Yehuda. Rabbi Yehuda says davar she'en mitkaven. Not psik resh, but psik resh everybody agrees it's asur. Rav says davar she'en mitkaven. Something that happens without your intention might happen is asur. You might make a furrow. Don't do it. Rabbi Shimon says, if it's not your intention and it's not for sure happening, it's mutar. Melechem machshevet asla Torah. Torah was only oseh something that you're doing consciously. Something that you're not doing consciously is not asur. Making a footprint, I don't know what the melacha is, but let's say you're walking on the grass and you might cut grass. That's the question. According to the Yehuda, you're not allowed to walk on the grass. According to the Rabbi Shimon, you're allowed to walk on the grass. That's the mahloket right here.
No, but what's the halacha?
We'll see. The Tanya, Rabbi Shimon, we don't give halacha so fast in this class. The Tanya, Rabbi Shimon Omer, Rabbi Shimon says, we make you work for it first. Rabbi Shimon Omer, we have a braita. So Rav Amar, halacha ke Rabbi Shimon, en halacha ke Rabbi Shimon begreira. V'Shmuel Amar, halacha ke Rabbi Shimon begreira. Halacha is like Rabbi Shimon, that you're allowed to drag a chair. Amar Abaya, Abaya says, Kol mili demor, everything of my Rabbi Rabbah, Avid Kirav, he used to do like Rav, everything. The bar mehani tlat, besides for these three things, the Avid Kishmuel, that he used to do like Shmuel. What are the three things? Madlikim iner lener, he used to lie from candle to candle. Umatirimi beged lebeged, he would untie tzitzit from one clothing to another. V'halacha ke Rabbi Shimon begreira, he used to follow Rabbi Shimon by dragging the Tanya, like we learned. Rabbi Shimon Omer, Rabbi Shimon says, Gorer Adam, a person is allowed to drag mita, a bed, kiseh, a chair, v'safsal, and a bench, u'belvad shelo yitkaven la'asot haritz, as long as his intention is not to make a furrow. So therefore he holds it's mutar. And we lema'aseh, we hold like Rabbi Shimon, that davar she'enu mitkaven is mutar, and therefore it would be mutar to drag the chair, it would be mutar to
go roller skating too.
If the ground is dirt,
roller skating, probably. It'd be mutar too.
Told me that roller skating you take marks on the ground. That's why.
That maybe that's a psik ratio. I don't know. Breaking might be asur. I don't know if you could break. Breaking maybe is asur. Because when we're talking about something that's not for sure going to happen. If something's for sure going to happen, it's asur.
Drag the chair through the mud, you're going to make a line.
If it's for sure, you're not allowed. It's only if it's not.
It's not the intention. It has to do with the intention.
Again, it's only if it's not for sure. If it's for sure, it's asur. You can't do something that's for sure going to happen. You can't. What? L'chaora, you can't walk by the sensor that's going to turn on the light because it's for sure going to happen, even though it's not my intention. Because that's for sure. I'm talking about something that's a maybe. Might happen, might not. When you drag the chair, I don't know what's going to happen.
That's for sure.
It works every time, right? When you walk to the door opens every time. What's the difference? Seek Reisha de lo nichale.
People that live with the burglar alarm that has the sensor over there. That goes
Okay, there's more things.
to the on and off. You have
Could be it's a problem. Could be it's a problem. Could be not. There's different ways to answer, but it's not. We don't have time for all of that now. Let's see.
If the ground is dirt, you're not allowed to do it. Also,
He's talking where it's dirt. It's not for sure it's going to make a what's it called?
Sure, if it's dirt, for sure it's gonna
Nah,
happen.
it's not for sure. Let's go. Says the Gemara, Yativa Umira Banan Kamed Ravada Barava. One rabbi sat in front of Rav Ada bar Ahava, Yativa Ka'amar. He sat and he wanted to explain. Ta'amad Rav, the reason why Rav says you're not allowed to light from one candle to another candle, Mishum Bizui Mitzvah, is because you're insulting the mitzvah. How is that? Like we said before that we have it's asur to insult the mitzvah. It says I have the candle, it's burning for a mitzvah. I want to light the next candle, so I'm going to take a match or a candle. That candle is not mitzvah, right? The match is not mitzvah. I'm going to light a non-mitzvah candle, a holin candle, from a mitzvah candle. That's insulting the mitzvah. You're downgrading it. No, not even l'shem mitzvah. That's what he said. One second. Calm down, Jack. Everything is going to be in the Gemara. So we say, Mishum bizui mitzvah. It's because of bizui mitzvah. Well, the Gemara is making clearer. Amar lehu. So Rav Ada bar Ahava said, Lo tatzitu le. Don't listen to him. Ta'amad Rav. The reason of Rav, Mishum de kamak chish mitzvah. The reason of Rav is because when you put in the candle to light it, the first one goes down in the beginning until the second one lights, and then it goes up. So by lighting from ner l'ner, you're weakening the mitzvah. That in itself is asur. So let's see. My benayu, what's the difference? Ika benayu de kamadlik mi sharga le-sharga. If you're lighting directly from candle to candle. Man de amar mishum bizui mitzvah. The one that says because you're insulting the mitzvah. Mi sharga le-sharga madlik. I'm lighting from mitzvah to mitzvah. There's nothing holin in between. So it should be okay. So according to that, even though Rav says you can't light from candle to candle, that's only when you take it with a match. But if you directly light and put it down, it should be okay. Right? Now, Uman de Amar Mishum Akhushe Mitzvah. But if the reason is because when I light the candle, the one that's already lit goes down, even for a mitzvah you can't do that.
It's not doing anything to it.
Rashi.
Going down. It's not doing.
Rashi says a little different. Akhushe Mechzi Keman de Shakil Nora. It's like you're taking fire. Veshoev ketzat milach lochit shamno. It's like you're taking some of the oil for it. Okay, Nami Asur. Metiv Rav Avya. Rav Avya asks a question. Sela shel maaser sheni. Maaser sheni is the fruit that's take maaser in the first and second years, right? And the third and the fourth and fifth years, you have to take 10% of the fruit, take it up to Yerushalayim, and eat it in Yerushalayim, right? Let's say you have pounds and pounds and pounds of stuff you don't want to carry to Yerushalayim. So what do, Jack? You poder the maaser sheni onto money, right? And then you take the money and you spend the money in Yerushalayim. So I redeemed it. I have a selah. I have a coin of maaser sheni. I want to use the coin for what? And shoklim kenegdo dinrei zahav. You have to treat this coin with kedusha. So you want to use the coin as a weight to weigh dinarim. You want to know if they're good or they're not. Are they fake or not? So you take your selah you know to be good, and you put your 4 dinarim opposite it and you weigh them. Is that mutar or not?
Nope.
En shoklim kenegdo din rezav. Why? Because the maaser sheni has a kedusha, and you're using something kadosh for something chulin. These coins are not kadosh. Va'afilu lehalel alav maaser sheni. Aher. Even if you're weighing the coins just to make sure they're good in order to redeem other maaser sheni. So I'm using the maaser sheni coin for the purpose of another mitzvah. It's still asur.
What happens if you lose that coin? It's a big problem.
Yeah, it's a problem. Right? ואפילו לחלל עליו מעשר שני אחר. אי אמרת בשלמה כי פליגי רב ושמואל מנר לנר, אבל בכנסה אסר שמואל. If you tell me that Rav and Shmuel are arguing when it's direct, משום הכחוש המצווה, but if you would use a match in between, Shmuel would be matir, Shmuel would be oser, Shmuel would say fshut asur, ha lo tehevet yufta. Then this is not a proof against Shmuel. Because over here really there's something holin here. There's something holin. The other coins are not yet kadosh. So we'll say the reason why I can't use it is because I'm putting in something which is holin involved. It's like the twig. It's like I'm lighting with a match from one to the other. So then this won't disprove Shmuel. But if you tell me that Shmuel holds it's mutar even to light with a candle. Why? Because I'm going for a mitzvah. Then over here it should have been mutar to weigh the ma'aser sheni because I'm going to a mitzvah. I'm using it for a mitzvah.
So the coin is not the kedusha himself. The fruit is the kedusha.
Not true. You transfer the kedusha of the fruit onto the coin. So right now the coin is the kedusha itself. Says the Gemara, "Halo tavet yufta." Ela iyamar. But if you're going to say bikinsa nami shari that Shmuel is matir even with a match, ha tehevet yufta. This will be his disproof. Amar Rabba, no problem. Gezerah Hashem lo yechaven mishkelotav. You can't compare them. Over here, you know, why are you weighing them? Because you're afraid that they're not good. What happens if they're not good? You're not going to use them for the mitzvah. So now it comes that I wound up using the ma'aser sheni for not kodesh money. You're telling Shmuel, you're saying if Shmuel allows you to use a match to light from one kodesh candle to another, it's mutar since I'm doing it for a mitzvah. So too it should be mutar to weigh the chulin coins opposite the maaser sheni coins because I'm using these chulin coins for a mitzvah. Right, that's the question. So how could it be? But yet over there we say no. The Braita says you're not allowed to weigh the chulin coins. Must be. It is for a mitzvah. It says even for maaser sheni. So must be once there's chulin mixed, you can't use the chulin with a mitzvah. So too you can't use the match, even though you're using the match to light another Hanukkah candle. Says Rabbah, not a question. When you light the match, you're going to light the candle. There's nothing that's going to go wrong. Masha'enken, when you're weighing the coins, if they don't work out, if they're not the right weight, you're not going to use them. So they come. Since there's a safek over here, you're not allowed. It will come out that you were mivazeh. You were mivazeh the ma'aser sheni for no reason.
No safek, you might not light the candle. Maybe the match will go off.
Okay, Canada, they weren't worried about that. That's like way out.
Only for kedusha. If you can use kedusha, and then you know what? Then you light a cigarette. Only for kedusha, you're allowed to light it.
That according to Shmuel, if Shmuel madlikim in only for kedusha, not for chulin. If you think that they didn't let you count money opposite the Hanukkah, you think they can let you light your cigarette from the Hanukkah?
After you light already.
In Israel, that's what they need a shamosh for, because if not, everybody would be lighting their cigarettes from the.
After you light already the kedusha, you light the kedusha now. That's it. You finish your job.
The match? I don't care about the match.
After.
Oh, you mean? So Jack says I'll light the second candle and then I can light my cigarette. I didn't chap. Okay, I don't know. I don't. Never chap. Says the Gemara. Metiv Rav Sheshat. Rav Sheshat asked the question. Have a braita. Mihutz leparochet ha'edut ya'aroch. Talking about the menorah. You should set up. Ya'aroch means to set up. Mihutz leparochet ha'edut. Outside the parochet of the testimony, ya'aroch, he should set up the candles. Right? The menorah. Says the Gemara, V'chi le'orahu tzarich. Why do we have to put a menorah? Does Hashem need the light? V'halo kol 40 shana. All 40 years. Sha'alchu b'nei Yisrael b'midbar. That b'nei Yisrael were in the desert. Lo halchu ela le'oro. They went by Hashem's light. How did they go by Hashem's light? The Amud Ha'esh. The Amud Ha'esh. Well, Hashem needs us to light a menorah in the Beit HaMikdash. He's got plenty of light. He has an Amud Anan if he needs. We'll turn it on. Very good. Look in Rashi. No Rashi. Okay. Ela edut hi leba'i olam. Now there's also a question. All of a sudden in this pasuk they call the parochet ha'edut. I don't know what the parochet is. If you don't tell me parochet ha'edut. So he says, Ela, the menorah is edut. It's a testimony. Leba'i olam, to the rest of the people in the world. Sha'shechina shora Israel. That Hashem, it's for us too. Well, we make believe. We know. We want proof to the green. Right? Parochet. No. We'll see. Sha'shechina shora Israel. My edut. Not the parochet is the edut. The menorah is the edut. My edut. Amarav zu ner ma'aravi. The westernmost candle, which is not westernmost, zu ner ma'aravi. Shenotem ba shemen kimidat havroteha. He puts the same amount of oil in as every other candle. Umimena haya madlik, uba haya mesayem. The ner ma'aravi stayed on 24 hours. When Yisrael was osim ritzono shel makom, when we were doing what Hashem wanted, so the Shekhinah rested with us. When the Shekhinah rested with us, the Ner Ma'aravi would stay lit, not 12 hours like every other candle, but 24 hours.
Sukkot is also an ot.
That's the
I don't know what Sukkot is. Leave Sukkot. We got enough to work with this Ner Ma'aravi.
big nes.
What?
That's the big nes.
It's not a big nes?
Hanukkah was 8 days. This is 12 hours. Not a big nes.
Hanukkah was one time in history. This happened every single day. Whenever we were osim ritzono shel makom.
Hanukkah candles we light not for an ot for us, but for the world.
Hanukkah candles is for us and the world to remember the miracle. But right now we got to work with this. Let's see. Menorah Beit HaMikdash. Look in Rashi. Ner Ma'aravi. So first of all, what does it mean, the westernmost candle? The western candle. Rashi says, Liman de Amar b'minachot mizrach u'ma'arav munachim. There's two opinions as to how the menorah was set up. Yossi, behind you, on one of those shelves, there's a picture of the Beit HaMikdash folded up towards the side on that bookshelf. Right by the side, there's like a picture of the Beit HaMikdash folded. That one, yeah, bring it. So over here is the Beit HaMikdash, right? Here's a picture of the Beit HaMikdash. This is the Hechal. In the Hechal, you have the Mizbeach HaZahav, the menorah on the south, and the Shulchan on the north. Now this is west. The Kodesh Kodashim is in the west. So the Kotel HaMa'aravi is somewhere down here, right? And this is the east, facing Har HaZitim, right? Now, there's a question, there's a mahloket in the Gemara. What the menorah is like this. Was it this way in the Beit HaMikdash, or was it this way? Meaning, was the axis of the menorah east to west, or was the axis of the menorah north to south? Now, what? Wait, Rashi's going to work with it. So let's see. Let's read Rashi. Leman da'amar b'menachot. According to the opinion in Menachot, Mizrach u'ma'arav munachim, that the menorah was on the axis of east to west. Seder akanim, all the lamps. Kari ma'aravi, which is the western candle. So you'd say that's the one that's closest to the west, right? Wrong. Guess, right? Ner ma'aravi. Kari ner sheni shebetzad hachitzon shu b'mizrach. It's the second candle from the east.
How? Ma'aravi from the east.
It's the second one from the east. They call that the Ma'aravi. Let's see. 6 from the west. Aywa. Shebetzad shu. Ulman da'amar tzafon darom.
West is the first candle that you're lighting?
Yes. No, it's west from the east.
The first one west.
It's the first one that you can go west from anything. Ulman da'amar tzafon v'darom unachim. Rashi is going to explain it all. According to the opinion that they put north-south, so now they're all the same. They're all east, west. They're all on the different axis. Kari Emtsa'i Kari Ma'aravi. The middle one is called the Ma'aravi. Why? Al Shem Shahaya Panav Keneged Ma'arav. Because we know that all the lamps of the menorah are sort of tilted towards the middle one, and the middle one went straight ahead. So the
Look at the menorah, the middle one goes like
no,
this,
not
out a little bit.
not true. Not in the Beit HaMikdash. It's a straight line. But the middle one was pointed straight, where the other ones were pointed on an angle towards the middle one. El mul penei menorah ye'eru shavat hanerot, but the middle one went straight. The lamps on the top tilted towards the middle. And the middle one here, you can look over there. You see, all the other ones are facing, and the middle one, it wasn't straight up, it was actually straight out. Straight towards the Kodesh Kodashim. Right? Which is west. So that's why it's the Ner Ma'aravi.
Kodesh Kodashim was
In the west.
in the west.
Yes.
The middle one was towards
Sham.
Yes.
south. So if the middle one was towards the Kodesh Kodashim, that means
The
the
menorah and the Shabbat.
On the other side of the head.
menorah was
It's the back of the Echal.
Ma'arav, Mizrach.
Hey, give him the paper. Let him look. Ready? So he says, Dichtiv, V'kol she'ara nerot kelapei hamtzeit. All the rest of the candles were facing the middle one. Dichtiv, il mul penei menorah. Tahainu emtzai ya'iru. Shel tzafon hayu ponim ledarom. The north ones turned towards the south. V'shebedarom pono letzafon. Nerot means lusta shel zahav shenotnim letochan shemen upetila. Shenotem ba kimidat havroteha. You put the same amount as the rest of the candles. Hatzi log. Half of a log is like half a soda can, right? A log we say is 6 bitzim, which is 12 ounces. So they put 6 ounces of oil. Why? Shi'aruba. That was what they estimated. That's west. That's west. Shi'aruba lelele tekufot tevet hagedolim. They estimated for the long tevet nights, 14, 15 hours. V'im yidlak bayom belelot haketzerim. If it stays lit in the day. On the short nights, yidalek, it can light. But this way, every night you have the same amount, and you always, even in the longest light nights, it will last. Aval pachot lo. Why? Shelo yichabe betevet balayla. It shouldn't go out in tevet at night. Torah amra. The Torah says you have to light me'erev ad boker, from the evening till the morning. So that's so he put the same amount. Umimena hayam madlik. When he lit the candles, he would light them from the ner ma'aravi. Uba hayam misayem, and he would finish. That would be the last candle he would light. Rashi says, "Umimen hayam madlik kanero ben arbaim." So you were constantly lighting. The same fire was constantly going around the menorah. Uba hayam misayem hatavat hanero. That was the last candle that he would clean out. Right? Shedalak kalayom ve'eno metibo ad ha'erev. He would only clean it out in the evening. U'mishnah zu betorat kohanim shenuya. V'svira lei, this Mishnah holds, the Mizrach u'ma'arav munachim. V'achi tanya le'el. This is the way the Braita goes over there. Leha'alot ner tamid. To light a candle constantly. That word tamid would be doresh as a ner tamid. Sheteher ner ma'aravi tamid. The ner ma'aravi should be constant. Shimimenu yeh matchil. He should start lighting from there. Ubo yeh mesayem, and he should clean it out last. Umidelo ketiv lehalot nerot tamid. To light candles, that will be tamid. Hare he lit nerot. Why does it say lehalot ner? The menorah has 7 candles. Shel lehalot nerot tamid. Why does it say lehalot ner tamid? Right? Sheteher ner ma'aravi tamid. Right? Umidelo ketiv nerot. Shma mina hukba ner echad. There's one ner la'atchil bo, to start from bechol yom, every day. V'zeo ner ma'aravi. That's the ner ma'aravi, which is hasheni shel mizrach, the second one from mizrach. V'hachi tenam, we have a mishnah. Nechnas, he went into the hechal. Umatzah nerot mizrachim dolkot. He found the 2 eastern candles still lit. Midashen mizrachi. He cleaned out the eastern one. Umaniach et ma'aravi, and he left the western of the 2 eastern ones. Dolek, he left it lighting. Shemimenu madlik et menorah ben arbaim. That would be the one that he would light the menorah from ben arbaim. Mitzao shekaba. If he found that the ner ma'aravi went out, I thought it lit all the time. Kegon mishemet Shimon HaSadik. The Gemara says in the 40 years of Shimon HaSadik, they always had the ner ma'aravi stayed lit till the night. After Shimon HaSadik died, already we were missing some Kiddusha. Sometimes it would be on, Sometimes it'll be off. Right? Madlikom mizbeach ha'olah. You would go get fire from the mizbeach outside, and that you would use that fire, which has a kedusha, ready to start the lighting in the Mishkan. Right? V'nir'eh be'enai. Rashi says amazing thing. The amur rabanan kivi'uta bener sheni. The rabbis decided which candle should be the ner ma'aravi. Why? Mishum de'en ma'avirin al mitzvot. Because you're not supposed to pass over mitzvot. V'chi ayil be'echal. When you come into the echal, be'kama paga bereisha. The first candle you get to is the eastern one. Ube lo matzi latchule. He can't start with that. Dichtiv ya'arochoto lifnei Hashem. He has to set it up in front of Hashem. In front of Hashem always means closer to the Kodesh Kodashim. So the outside one is not inside. It's the most outside. I need one that's more inside. So any one of the next 6 will be good. But if I would have made it the most western one, like Eli says, please don't confuse me. Make it the most western one, and I'll understand. I got you, Eli. Right? If you make it the most eastern one, then I got to pass on 5 potentials. That's called ma'avirim ala mitzvot. Right? צריך אותו אחד חוצה לו, דאילו לא קרין בלפני השם. החמרים בנחו דכתיב בני מערבי לפני השם, בכלל דכולו, not all of them are לפני השם. ובא היה מסיים ההטבה, he would finish the lighting, לפי ששאר היו מטיב שחרית, the rest he would clean out in the morning, right? הטבת 5 נרות. וזו מטיב בין 40, this one he would clean out in the evening. ואוחז הישנה בידו, he pulls out the wick with the fire, right? O manicha bekelu, he puts it down on a tray. Ad shenoten shemen pitila, he quickly cleans it out, puts the oil, puts a new wick, right? Umadlika, light it. Umadlik mimena tashad, and then light the rest of it from it. V'had amrina beseder yoma hatavat hey nerot kodem latavat bet nerot. Sounds like in the morning they also did hatavat bet nerot. Mashma kuluhu ametiv shachrit. He cleaned them all out in the morning. V'yalif lemekeraeh. That's when they didn't have the miracle. He found it, that it went out. The Torah doesn't rely on the miracle. Even though most of the time when we were good it happened, when we weren't good we have to know when to clean it out. Okay, so now the Gemara gets to the proof. So now we know that every night they lit the rest of the candles. From the Ner Ma'aravi. Says the Gemara, V'hahacha Kivan dikbi'i nerot. Since the lamps are fixed onto the menorah, they're attached, I can't move them from here to there to light them. So I have to take with something else and light it. The something else is not part of the menorah. So that's a proof not only that you can light from candle to candle, it's a proof you can light from candle to candle using something else. Right? Big proof. Right? V'hahacha kivan dekvi'i nerot lo sagya lo mishkal v'adluki. He has to take it with something else to light with. Kashya, it's difficult. Ben laman da amar. It's difficult to Rav according to bizui mitzvah that says you can't light with something else. Or ben laman da amar mishum akul mitzvah. And the guy that holds that you can't even light directly.
Compared to Beit HaMikdash to a regular
Ner Hanukkah is not more mahmir. So if the Beit HaMikdash you can do it outside for sure.
So how come over there?
That's the question. Tirgimar of Papa explained it. Biptilot arukot. No, in the Beit HaMikdash they had long wicks, and they would go like this. They turn the wick one to the other, and then they would go this way and this way and this way, and they would get the whole menorah lit without using anything else. Says the Gemara, sof. Leman da amar mishum akhushe mitzvah kasha. According to the guy that says you can't even light directly, it's a kasha. Kasha? Yeah, you're right. It's a problem. My have Allah. What's the maskana? Amar Rav Huna bered Rav Yoshua hazina. We're going to analyze it differently. If the main part of the mitzvah is lighting the candle, then it's okay. Why? Because when I'm lighting, I'm doing a mitzvah. So there's no bizui mitzvah when I'm lighting, because that's the etzem of the mitzvah. Mitzvah. I always have a hard time with this sivara. The Gemara has a hava amina to say that the mitzvah of the menorah is not when you light it, the mitzvah is when you set it up. when you put it there to be lit. Why? I don't know. Right? Avlamad Amar Hanahaosa mitzvah. So what's the lighting? Of course I can't just putting it down if I don't light it doesn't do anything, right? I don't have fire. But the mitzvah, that's a hechsher mitzvah. That's it. The lighting is the hechsher.
Right. And
The setting it up is the mitzvah. You know, it's very funny, but in the Beit HaMikdash, a Yisrael could light the menorah. You have a slight problem. You're not allowed to go in the hechal.
So are you there?
But if you have a very long candle, in theory you could light it. What can you not do? You're not allowed to set it up.
You do Bluetooth,
Bluetooth, right. But you're not allowed to set it up.
One of those long torch lighters.
Right. You're not allowed to set up. Setting it up is for the Kohen. So in the Beit HaMikdash you see that the more avodah shebo is the setting up than the lighting. So maybe that's like Hanahaosa mitzvah. Right? V'i Hanahaosa mitzvah. So if the setting up is the main mitzvah and the lighting is just the cherry on top, so then lighting is not a mitzvah. I'm lighting a not such a mitzvah from a mitzvah. Says the Gemara, the Ibaya Lahu, they had a question in the yeshiva. Hadlakaos mitzvah, is the lighting the mitzvah? Or hanahaos mitzvah? Or is the setting up the mitzvah? Tosafot explains the nafkamina is, if you hold hanahaos mitzvah, then once you set it up, a kid could light it. Because you did the main mitzvah. And if you hold that lighting is a mitzvah, then a kid could set it up. Yeah.
How is it possible that if you're saying the beracha on lighting it?
That's going to be the Gemara's final answer. Right? O hanahaos mitzvah. Tashema, the Amar Rava brings a proof. Haya tafus ner Hanukkah ve'omed lo asa ve'lo klum. Rava says like this. Let's say you're standing outside, you're holding the menorah over here, you light it, and you stand there like the Statue of Liberty the whole night. Hazal Baruch. So if you say hadlakaos mitzvah, what's the problem? The Rava says if you held the menorah all night, lo yatsa. You need hanaha. So you see, the mitzvah is hanaha. Says the Gemara, not a proof. Right? Tashma damar vayatafus ner Hanukkah ve'omed lo asav lo klum. Shma mina we see hanahaos mitzvah. Nah. Hatam haroeh omer letzorko hu denakid le. The reason why you're not yotzeh is not because you need a hanaha. It's because there's no pirsum in Isa. Guy sees you holding in there. He says he needs light. Tashema, the Amarava, hidlika befnim v'hotzi'ah lo asa klum. Rava says, how do you have to light outside? He lit it inside and he carried it outside. Let's look to the case, Jack. He lit it inside and he took it outside. Lo yatsa. Amar bishlama hadlakaos mitzvah. If you say that the lighting is the mitzvah, so I understand why you're not yotzeh. Hadlaka bimkoma ba'inan. You have to light it in the place where you're yotzeh. And over here I lit it in a place where I can't be yotzeh. I lit it inside. Ela, right? Mishum hachi lo asa klum. Ela iamarta, but if you're going to say, hanahaos mitzvah, so what's the problem? I lit it, that's anyway only just a hechsher mitzvah. And I put it down outside, should be good. Amai lo asa velo klum. Hatam nami, haroeh, the person that sees you, omer, he says, letzorkohu da'adlaka, he lit it for himself. Tashema, the Amar of Yush. Okay, we'll do this tomorrow. What? Baruch Adonai le'olam, amen, amen. For sure you don't need both.